before you disrupt actually production data. Last but not least, review your policy, make sure that you have everything in place, and submit it. Here's an example where a user sends a sensitive information in a Teams chat. As per the rule that created, the sender gets the below message that the message was blocked. The recipient would not even see it. The user can report this to the admin as an error or false positive so that the admin can investigate even further in case the user chooses to override. When a user overrides, a log of this is created for the compliance admin in the Compliance Center. And as you can see, this is yet another example of our Microsoft Information Protection solutions trying to balance the user productivity needs with the organization's security needs. Over to you, Sachin. Let's talk about applying container label in Teams.
Well, thank you, Mavi. That was fantastic. Let's take a look at how you can leverage sensitivity labels to protect information in Microsoft Teams. At a team site level, two types of control are possible using labels. Number one, control who can join the team. Number two, control access based on whether the device is managed or not by your organization. In this particular example, during the label and policy creation workflow on M365 Compliance Center, relevant site and group settings are being enabled by the compliance admin. In this particular screenshot, you can see that when this particular label created by the compliance admin is applied later to a team site by an information worker who is also the team owner, it will do a few things. Number one, it's going to make it a private group. So access will be restricted to only approved members in your organization. Now, additionally, I can also select the option which will provide team owner the ability to add people outside the organization to this particular group. And then finally, unmanaged devices in this scenario will only be allowed to access the team site via the web. Now, as you can see here, a team owner can pick an appropriate label, for example, confidential, while creating a new Teams using the Teams setting experience. Now, if the team owner picks confidential label, then automatically this team is set as private per the protection policies that we configured earlier, right? And if the confidential label also limits access from unmanaged devices, the end user trying to access will see a message that their organization does not permit the ability to print, download, or sync using a device that is not managed by your organization. Now, this way the user is still productive while working remote, and as an organization, you're also able to limit the information risk associated with this access. Let's take a step further and understand how you can use these labels to further protect documents within Microsoft Teams. Now, two classification and labeling capabilities are available with Microsoft Information Protection. One is manual classification using labels by your end users, and then auto classification using labels and policies defined by your compliance admins. Right? So, in my experience, an organization typically starts with manual labeling. However, we all can agree that automation is the key to scale and also to drive adoption and helping reduce user-centric classification errors. Now, we all know that preventing data leak via external sharing is a top priority for all the organizations out there. Now, in the past, this was a little bit challenging. Let me explain. When new files are added to SharePoint or OneDrive in Microsoft 365, it might take a few moments for them to be crawled and indexed. Now, it takes additional time for Office DLP policy to then scan and apply the rules to help protect sensitive content. If external sharing is turned on in this scenario, the sensitive content could actually be shared and accessed by your external users before the Office DLP rule can finish processing, right? And that's a challenge. However, Now you can ensure that the document